Yep, that's the one. What's up, guys? It's MoFat commentating for you. And so right now, we got your boy, N3 Toxic. Coming up, I think he's pretty much guaranteed. I think he's guaranteed top 5 at this point, or top 4 actually. And the thing is, interesting to note, is that Toxic has actually placed 5th at the last 2 major Oregon events. He placed 5th at a couple of Smash Nests, I believe, and then he placed 5th at Bridgetown Blitz, not 1 week ago, actually exactly 1 week ago. So, and so he's got a streak of 5th place finishes here in Oregon. And I think he's looking to break that. He may have already. I'm going to check that out. On my phone, we're going to look up that bracket. But his opponent right now, David DeCoste in the shell. Very solid Marth player. Not someone I would want as my opponent. Mostly because I hate Marth, but also because he's very good. And he has been bringing out the Falco as well lately. And having a Marth-Falco combination, in my opinion, is very, very powerful. Probably one of the best dual main, dual main combinations in Melee. And of course, you put together any 2 top tiers, it's going to be a good combination. But these 2 in particular are very powerful because Marth is so much so a zoning, spacing type of character, and Falco is also has shades of Marth within his playstyle as far as his laser goes, and just how he walls people out with lasers and controls the stage with just his great spacing tools. With Marth it's a sword, with Falco it's the lasers, and it's very similar in that respect. But then Falco has a much more aggressive side to him, where he can just combo you to death. But yo, Toxic grabbing that. Toxic grabbing that wobble. But all right, dude, we got DeCoste sneaking very carefully right now. And you know what? Toxic he's no slouch himself as far as taking this very, very seriously he goes. He definitely can tell that he wants to get better. He wants to have some higher placings. He's had a taste of victory, of what it can taste like up at the top here in this region, and I think he wants to climb higher and higher. And and he's definitely a part of that breakout Ice Climber. I went to say epidemic, but I mean the breakout, the Ice Climber epidemic that we've been having. This new wave of Ice Climber players who have been doing very, very well, and this really reminds me of something that's been happening. That is a bit of a odd wobble execution, but it reminds me of a few years ago we had the same thing happen. And a few years before that we had the same thing happen, where this slew of Ice Climber players just bursted onto the scene and started doing very, very well. And I really think that people forget how to play Ice Climbers. But every single time we get this burst of Ice Climber talent, it gets harder and harder to beat them because the meta is advancing more and more into that 20XX area. And that doesn't just apply to Fox, that applies to every character. This Sopo, though, it doesn't apply to Sopo. Don't get it twisted on that. 20XX doesn't apply to Sopo, unless your name is Chudan. And even then, man, I don't know. But the thing is, traditionally, this is actually a very bad matchup for Ice Climbers. Marth, that is, because Marth can pretty much stop you before you ever come in, and he DIs out of it. All right. He's doing things top players don't. Smash DIing out of that wobble setup. It was actually very specifically, Wobbles himself was playing at Battle of the Five Gods, and he was using that setup on plethora of good players. And one of the commentators was like, you know what, you can't actually do that setup. If you just smash DI out of it, you can't do that setup. And ever since then, people have been catching on slowly but surely. All right, he's really searching for that extra damage on Nana right now. And I really believe once you separate the two Ice Climbers, you shouldn't always go after one or the other. You just need to go after which one is going to die first, honestly. Because, I mean, if you can kill Popo, that's ideal. But if you can't get to Popo in time, you should definitely just go after Nana. All right, and another one from our very own N3 Toxic. And yeah, as a matter of fact, he is guaranteed 4th at this point, as there are only 4 people left in the tournament. We're at top 4, guys. We're at top 4. Putting on the tag Fly, man. Fly Amonita. Man, he's gonna play Samus. I didn't know that this was a character that Mikasa had any knowledge in. All right, I'm pleasantly surprised. One of the biggest problems with Samus, though, is that her roll is abysmally, horribly slow. And it doesn't get punished nearly enough. And you might be going with the fact that Samus is super floaty. Maybe she's a little bit harder to get to wobble as far as those setups that we just saw. We saw the Toxic going for some of those handoffs. I think he may have been trying to get the wobbles, but Samus was a little bit too floaty. And there's also this. Samus is very difficult to kill if you don't know how. And I can imagine, especially if you're Ice Climbers, they don't have, they're kind of a mid-weight. They don't have a lot of aerial mobility. And it's risky for them to go out there, because if you go out there to try and get Samus while she's just off stage and you end up trading hits, Nana might get separated from you, and then all of a sudden your recovery gets gimped. But right now we're seeing what we call the Aftermath. Shout out to Aftermath, old school Oregon player. But we definitely, he's the reason that Pokemon Stadium is such a good missile stage. And that up B out of shield is also very helpful as far as getting rid of Ice Climbers. And it really works as a combo breaker for just about any character. But with Ice Climbers specifically, I can really think of it, oh wow, he taunted. I can really think of it being handy in breaking up an attempted wobble. All right. Making the right choice right there. You know, he's really doing a good job. Like shout outs to Toxic right there for repeatedly hitting him with those up airs, protecting Nana. He's going, no, you can't hit Nana. I need that. I need her. But despite his efforts, Nana dies anyways. And Samus, oh man, he just he face bombs a little bit, knowing that is not quite what he wanted. And all right, you know, I haven't seen as much down smashing from him as I thought I would. Because that's really one of the big reason I thought he chose Samus, was to be able to down smash a whole bunch and separate those Ice Climbers. Because the thing is, like, once you launch Ice Climbers, you don't need to have a move that sends Ice Climbers flying in opposite directions. What you need to do is launch Ice Climbers and then have a follow-up, but just hit one of them, and you desync them that way, so they're no longer acting at the same time, and that makes it a lot easier to kill one Ice Climber while the other just dies. Be that Nana or Popo. But right now we're playing the patient game, as happens here on Pokemon Stadium. But he just lets fly that charge shot. Maybe a little bit too early, I want to say. Right now he is at 110%, and he's at 110%, and you know, one game away from being knocked out of this tournament. And I'm not sure. Maybe he thought he was going to shield drop, catch up with that forward smash. All right, that should be it for Nana. And he's going to go with the aftermath. He can't quite finish that. And I've seen him having some problems executing the aftermath. But you know, Toxic like a champ, he's actually able to power through that. All right, and that up tilt, very powerful up tilt. It's something people don't necessarily see coming with Samus, but it's absolutely something you have to watch out for. If you know the matchup, you know that it's a scary weapon in her arsenal. All right, and I really like the patience right there from DeCoste, because any other, well, your average everyday Samus player or player in general would say, oh, you know, they came down and I'm going to do a crouch cancel, down smash, and separate these guys. But he saw that Toxic was putting up the shield. If he had done that, he would have been punished, possibly into a wobble. Any Ice Climber player worth its salt, can get that happening, get that done. All right, but right now it's looking like Toxic is going to make this happen. There it is. There it is. Toxic in top 3.